Hey everybody, this is Brett, and it is the following Monday after Christmas, and I had an okay weekend. Nothing really changes much for me. People go through their highs and their lows, and I remember those days. But it's not like that for me anymore, and it's a good sign to be more level, you know what I mean? But regardless, this time of the year, especially like right after Christmas and then the first several weeks of January, are always the most difficult time for me. And the reason is simple. I like to stay busy. I like to stay busy and working. And it makes me feel more secure and it keeps my mind off of troubles. And I'm sure that a lot of you can really relate. And if you can relate, you can write something in the comments there and maybe I'll respond. But as you can imagine, I could really use some business and that would keep me going and busy and it would keep me from starving. But I have Shindig massage tools available right now. I have some really beautiful zebra wood and maple foot friends available right now. I have some wonderful wooden spine rollers available right now. And you can crack your back every day like I do. In fact, that's what I've been doing a lot of right here in this room. Body work, yoga, relaxing, sleep, stretching, all of that. Look at my hair. It looks perfect, huh? Look, I could even make a perfect heart. So, did you guys have a good Christmas? Let's see, did I get anything? I got a few donations. I really appreciate that, you guys. Hope that you're doing well. Also, I have Millet Hole pillows. If you guys don't have one of these, like, look at that. That is like a perfect mold to my head. Best pillow on earth. You will never sleep on a better pillow than that. I also have body pillows available. But hello, John. Yeah, we're hoping for a good year. At least we're not going to have Donald Trump in the White House anymore. And that right there in itself is a seriously major improvement over the last 2020. That's a big improvement. So just think about that. Those of you that understand ethics, those of you that know the truth and reality. Some of you don't, I understand that. But yeah, I figured out what was wrong with my car's motor shaking. I need new engine mounts. Things are starting to come to me somehow. I got the electricity in the apartment fixed. That was a major problem, and we couldn't figure out what it was, but I eventually figured it out, sort of. And we got the whole fuse box replaced. And additionally, as you can see, I figured out the problem with the streaming, and that it was that I was using the wrong browser, and that I needed to use Chrome. Additionally, now I think I've figured out the problem with the shaking motor in my Toyota Corolla. The engine mounts need to be replaced, so I ordered 4 of those. Now, if I can just figure out how to market my products more And I know that some of you will say, you should sell on Amazon. Not. I've already played that game. And see, the thing is that my products are geared towards a specific market. They are not geared towards selling to the mainstream. They're for people that appreciate high quality, organic, handmade products. If you were to go out and ask the average person out there, do you buy handmade, organic, natural products? They would say, no, I don't even know what that means. So you have to really appreciate these things. These things are made to do work on your body. They're made to feel natural, to look natural, to do really good quality work for a long, long time. How long do you think that that's going to last? A piece of maple. A long, long time. Somebody could use that till they die in 100 years and then pass it on to somebody else and they could use it and then pass it on to somebody else. This thing could be used, that piece of maple could still be used in 400 years. See how it's carved? Different edges? That's a shindig massage tool. I doubt that this will last 400 years because it has more moving parts, but it'll probably last 200 years. It'll last at least your whole life. That's the best spine roller in the world. And now they're stealing my idea and turning them into plastic. They're taking my ideas, turning them into plastic, and selling them for whatever. They're still expensive, but they still don't function as good as that because that's all natural rubber. See that? That is expensive natural rubber. That's why these are not cheap. And then check this out. I have perfected those. I have perfected these orthotics, and I have them on sale for $65 right now. Regularly $95. That is a real deal because these take time to make. A pair of those, first I have to make the pattern. You send me the insert in your shoe, and then I put it on a piece of thick paper and I draw around and I cut that out, and then I use that to cut patterns out of the leather and the rubber. It's wearing out a little bit off the rubber on the bottom. But they last a long, long time. And look how much support. That's a lot of support for your feet. So yeah, I can make you a pair of those for 65 bucks. And you will love them. These are for my Merrell hiking boots. See that? They fit perfect from edge to edge. Perfect fit. You want a pair of shoes that opens up really well. You can't use like a boot. They have to have laces or buckles or something, straps, something that opens up on the top so that you can get a lot of support in your orthotics and be totally adjustable. Let's see. Thank you, Cynthia. You have a nice 2021 too. Yes. Yeah. You know, I'll tell you the truth about things, and it's hard to swallow. This is hard to swallow. And I'm not talking about anything sexual. Okay? I'm talking about that things that are not natural, they always have some kind of a pollution that's left over after you've made them. a non-biodegradable pollution. And that continually builds up. Think about it. You've got 7.5 billion people that all need shoes made out of totally unnatural materials. Every time a pair of shoes is made, or whatever, there are byproducts, there are waste products that are left over, and you know where they're going. They're either going to the landfill, or somehow they get out into the ocean, or whatever. And there's a purpose for all these plastic things and chemicalized things, but the more we can get back to making things out of natural materials, like that. See, when I make these, there's a certain amount of waste. There's wood waste that's totally 100% biodegradable. There's natural rubber waste that's also totally biodegradable. There's a little bit of steel waste that's also just going back to the earth where it came from. And that's pretty much it. That is it. Oh, I cover this with tung oil. Totally natural, totally biodegradable, comes from a tree. So everything from this is totally, it can go back to the earth and cause no problems whatsoever. Same with this. Same with this. 100% natural except that zipper. When this pillow is done in 10 years, whatever it is, this plastic zipper, that's the only thing that's going out to the landfill that won't naturally and quickly biodegrade. All the rest of it, the millet hulls, organic material, organic cotton, totally all break down and go back to the earth. All of these kinds of things are things that I've been thinking about for a long, long time. And it's because of I can't tell you the deeper reasons of why I am who I am. I've evolved to this point. But astrologically, when I came here, I had the moon in Virgo. Virgo, it analyzes, it organizes, it nitpicks. Sometimes people really hate Virgo people because they're so, they don't like to be scrutinized. They don't like to be judged, etc. That's what Virgo does. Okay, so the moon is ruled by, or Cancer is ruled by the moon. My sun is in Cancer. Put that together. When you have a sun in Cancer, and then you have the moon in Virgo, you're going to be a very scrutinizing and analytical and nitpicky person. And everything is going to be completely organized. Everything is totally organized for me. And it's the way I survive, okay? If I can't find something, I hate that. I totally hate that. I need to know exactly, and I know exactly, where everything is that I need to be able to make products. See, that's another reason why you should want to buy my products. Because that is a 15-year endeavor, okay? 15 years I've been perfecting that right there. It's the best pair of orthotics in the world. I can tell you that. And even though this is just a pillow, it's not just a pillow. It's the right size pillow, and it's made out of the right materials. And it's inexpensive. It's not too expensive. See, there was a time when I made those, and this one is made out of linen. The inside. The inside is made out of linen. That was great at the time, but what I didn't realize is that I needed to find a cotton that was a lot less expensive so that I could make it more affordable for people. That is very important too. I take all of these things into consideration for a reason, because I want the more people that I can get to use my products, the better, for sure. I don't want my products to be like, I don't want to start making products that are geared for the rich. I don't want to take my time and start drawing incredible art all over these FootFriend massage tools so that some dude that has millions of dollars can say, oh, I'll pay $1,000 for that. I don't want to start burning my time to sell these that are really, really, really fancy to rich people. That doesn't help me, because what I want to do is I want to spend a good deal of my time, and let this be a lesson to you so that you understand. Okay, so you don't want to put your time into getting a lot of money for several reasons. It screws up your satisfaction on what you're doing in your life. Okay, so you have to have a deep satisfaction with yourself, a deep respect for yourself, for doing something that really matters in the world. And you want to be able to provide that to as many people as possible for as good of a price as you can. You don't want to be like catering to the freaking rich. If I wanted to, okay, I'm really, really good at massage, okay? I am really, really good at healing. If I wanted to, I could go out, and I have this friend that she caters to the rich, and she will have them over to her condo, right? And for $15,000 or whatever the hell she offers to them, she will give them a massage, she will juice for them, make all their food for them, everything. They get a 2-week juicing, fasting retreat thing at her fancy condo up on the hill here. And that is not even close to my style. There is no freaking way that I want to be doing that. That makes me just like want to puke thinking about doing something like that. Now, more power to her. If she thinks that's important for her, cool. The only way that I would ever even come close to considering that is if somebody gave me a crap load of money and I knew that I could do something beneficial with it for something else, just because I get a lot of money. But that doesn't give me satisfaction. When somebody tells me that they love their back roller, like somebody did just the other day, who was it? I just like, or this, the FootFriend. When somebody tells me that they use this every day like I do, and that their feet feel a lot better, that their plantar fasciitis is gone, I'm like, when somebody tells me, and if you look at the reviews on these, when somebody tells me that their neck pain is gone after 2 effing days from sleeping on my Millow pillows, I am like, I knew it. I know it. I know the deal with them. Everything, even these little freaking soother tools. So, and my videos. How many people? I'm trying to think of how many people look at my videos. It used to be over 20,000 a day. Now I think it's down to 10,000 a day or something. I can't even remember. But I get comments still every single day on my videos. Total satisfaction. That's what you want in this life. People need to start thinking in terms of what really matters. What really matters? And not just for human beings, okay? I'm not talking about just human beings. It's amazing that people think that the human species is the only species. Human beings are animals, okay? We're the most advanced, as far as we can see, animal on this planet. But there are plenty of other animals that think and feel to a high degree as well. And humans need to come to this realization that they're not the most important, always the most important creatures. That's why I tell you that there's no way that it's acceptable in the eyes of God or whatever you believe in that humans experiment on animals. Totally, to make drugs. Totally unacceptable. There's no way that that's ever going to change for me. I can tell you that. I don't care how many people say, look at all of the people that have been saved by this and that drug. All those people, they're going to get killed by freaking COVID because of their weakened immune systems. The more pharmaceutical drugs that people do, the more they're weakening their bodies because they're going the opposite way. It's just a quick fix. They're not doing the work. They're even pot. People are all in all of this pain, and pot, that's fine. If they can get out of their pain from smoking pot, cool. But ultimately, if they don't get out the oil and start digging out all the lactic acid and doing the work and taking herbs to support their body to be able to detox those chemicals, when you do this, stuff's getting back into your blood, and then it gets to your liver, then it gets to your kidneys, both. And then you have to deal with it, and it weakens your body, and you have to use herbs to help your body to be able to facilitate getting it out. You have to do enemas sometimes because it ends up in your large intestine, and then it can reabsorb back into your blood, and that's why you feel so poorly. Hi, LB. Yes, I have learned a lot from Asians. How did I get 130,000 subscribers? From being on YouTube for 12 years and making over 2,000 videos. That's how. So I'm sorry I didn't do a Sunday Night Live last night, you guys. I just didn't feel like doing one. So that's what you get. You get a Monday morning live. And this Monday morning live is, it's like it's a regular teaching thing. I'm just telling you the God-given things, I guess, and the life-given things that I've learned, and how important it is to get back to some sense of reality. And so a long time ago, I moved away from California because I came to this as I started to eat naturally, and I started to think about natural things, and I started to study natural things. I came to this realization that my life was synthetic, and that I was chasing money. I was chasing materialism. And I owned an auto detailing business in San Diego, and my total goal was to just make as much money as I could. And that was such a dead end. And I'm hoping that this COVID is helping people to see this realization, like my illnesses showed me to see this realization in the early 90s, like 90, 91. So it's been almost 30 years that I've been doing this health and healing thing. And check it out. I'm still alive. I can tell you that the biggest thing that helps me to feel better when I'm feeling sick from detoxing all of this stuff, from working, doing yoga and self-massage and changing my diet, etc., enemas. And a lot of people, they're just like, oh my God, but it's the truth. It's reality. But the other, what I was talking about a minute ago with California is I had to get out of there. And I know that some of you live in California, and that's cool. There are some beautiful, beautiful things about California, but think about California 150 years ago, 200 years ago, and what it looked like. Just go in your mind to California 2 centuries ago and imagine what it looked like then. Imagine what the air looked like in Southern California back then. Imagine what the terrain looked like, not full of freeways and roads and houses, cookie cutter houses, gazillions of them. And it's like that in every city. But California is such the epitome of plastico. People need to get back to the natural. Think about what things are natural. Wood, rubber, natural rubber, not petroleum-based rubber. And somebody might say, well, petroleum is natural, and it is. And some of the things that you can make out of petroleum are probably natural. I'm not a scientist. All I'm telling you is that the more organic things come from what's grown out of the topsoil, not deep from the earth. And so many of the things that humans do to the earth, like fracking, for instance, I think that that's really going to get humanity into a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. To send explosives down into the earth, they say, and it makes sense, that if you do that, that it's possible that you might create some of that natural gas to get into the aquifers, the water. Absolutely. And they'll say, oh no, those explosions are a lot deeper than the water. Accidents happen. We've all seen this kind of thing happen. Remember when the horizon, the Deepwater Horizon, started to spew? There was some kind of a leak, and all of those millions and millions of gallons of petroleum were going out into the Gulf. Remember that about 10 years ago? That was one of the most horrible freaking things. People really, really need to start thinking about what we as a humanity are doing to our planet. Right now, Fukushima is still radiation into the Pacific Ocean. And the longer it does that, the more that the salmon that I love to eat are getting radiated. And they're discovering that more and more as time goes by, more and more radiation is in the Alaskan salmon, wild Alaskan salmon that many of us like to eat, including polar bears and the native Alaskan people up there. And so we've all known, anybody that denies that all of these things need to be addressed is out of their freaking minds. For instance, the Trump Meister that's leaving the office. Thank God. All I can tell you is thank God that the orange man, the orange groves have almost all been plowed over. The orange man is just about to get plowed over. He's just about out of there. And it's so interesting that all of a sudden, he's decided that he wants to increase, not decrease. The orange man wants to increase the subsidies, whatever you want to call it, whatever it's called, to people to $2,000. Which side is he on? What is his purpose for doing this? I'll tell you exactly what his purpose is. He's trying to save face because he knows he's getting kicked out of office. He's a one-term loser. He's getting kicked out of the office, and so what? He's trying to do something to make people think that he's not such a loser as he is. Either that, or also the other thing that he's doing is he's throwing a wrench into the stimulus. Forgot what it was called. The stimulus plan, so that it doesn't get passed at all. The problem with that is that now the government is going to get shut down. Okay, so the good thing is that no matter what, Biden is going to be in there on the 20th. And when that happens, at least then something can get done. So the government may be shut down for a month, 3 weeks, but, you know, whatever. So anyways, I wanted to tell you guys that the main reason, in all honesty, for me coming on this morning is that I need something to do. And when this time of the year is really hard for me because business is always slower. Business is always slower. But luckily for everyone, the products that I make happen to be the products that you need during this time of taking care of yourself. Okay, so that's the deal. That's what I'm doing right here. All this extra time that we have on our hands is geared towards taking care of ourselves. Now, you may not have any money to spend at brettsnaturalhealth.com, and that's cool. What you can do is you can go and you can do some self-massage with your own hands. You get some oil. Hopefully you can afford some coconut oil. And you go and you put it in a bowl and you start putting it on your arms. You start putting it on your hands. You put it on your neck and your shoulders, and you take off all your clothes and you get naked, okay? And you start working on your body. You start working in between your ribs. You start working on your deltoids right here. You start working on your legs and you use your forearms. You work on your feet. You spend a whole lot of time working on your own body. And you drink herbal teas. And you be in the now. That's what I keep saying to myself, okay? Be in the now. As soon as I start thinking about some BS that I happen to see on the internet about something that blew up in Nashville, Tennessee, what do? I cut it off, and then I say to myself, be in the now. Have we seen explosions before? Oh yeah, remember we went back in Oklahoma, the Oklahoma City building, blah, blah, blah. Do we need to think about that now? Nope, we don't need to think about any of that right now. What we need to think about is taking care of ourselves. The way that we do that is to be in the now and to practice, do the work. So if I want to release this part of my leg, what do I need? A shindig massage tool. If you don't have a shindig massage tool, perhaps you can find something similar to this in your house. It doesn't have to be, perhaps you could make your own. You could do that. If you wanted to, you could make a shindig massage tool. This is a 1 1/8 inch diameter dowel. You could take an old broomstick that's no longer being used or some kind of an old broom handle and cut it off to 18 inches. 18 inches. Okay? Take a rasp and start rasping it down so that you've got some edges that you can use to work on your shin like this. Because that specific part of your lower leg gets tight and sore. And all of that affects your feet. It also affects going up the IT band. And so this specific tool, if you make yourself one, you can use it for the rest of your life, as long as you don't lose it. As far as a roller goes, that would be harder for you to do. But you still might be able to fashion something like that to be able to roll and crack on your back every day. the first thing that I did was I bought a foam roller, and then I took a handsaw and I cut 6 inches off of it. And then I made the video that you can still watch, how to crack your own back. No chiropractor required. It's got like, I don't know, a couple of million views. And you might even be able to find something like this. But this, the substitute that, if you can't afford to buy one of these from me, the substitute that you can use is the rung of a stool. Okay? All you have to do is find the rung of a stool. I'll show you what I'm talking about. See that? Except that's a square one. What you want is, you want one of these that's round, the rung of a stool. And then you put your foot on it, on the floor, like that. So you put your foot on it like that and start digging out the pain. But you want a round one. This square isn't as good. It still works. But you want to find a chair with a round rung. And then you can do that work. And you don't have to buy my products. But if you do, it'll keep me busy, and then you'll have a really nice product like that will last for hundreds of years, way beyond my life or your life. And you can use it every single day. Let's see if I got any orders. Send receive. No, I still didn't get any orders. Zipper Stop sent my order. I ordered some more zippers. But anyways, yeah, I'd really appreciate some business. If you guys are interested in any of my products, it would keep me busy. And then I wouldn't be so like bored. Sometimes I get depressed this time of the year. But I'm all right. You know, I'm going. Things are looking up a little bit, a lot better than 2 months ago or a month ago. Hello, Cleopatra. She will make an order this week. What do you have of mine, Cleopatra? I don't know any Cleopatras. Cleopatra. Long time no talk. Drink a glass of spring water every hour and then eat wild salmon or grilled chicken with small salad at 5, only 1 meal a day, and then tea in the night. No sugar, and do that for 7 B days. 7 days. I'm not recommending that you eat any store chicken. I learned my lesson from that. If you can find some locally grown chicken, I would say that's better. So I quit chicken a 1.5 years ago. And that is because it's not anything like the natural chicken that I was raising at my cabin. When you learn the difference, you won't buy stored chicken ever again. So, I mean, I'm not saying that maybe once in a while is all right. Maybe if you're trying to get off of something more extreme and you really need chicken, you quit smoking and you're not even focusing on chicken at this time, okay? You're not focusing on your diet at all. All you're doing is you're trying to get away from a bad relationship, or you're trying to get away from smoking, you're trying to stop doing OxyContin. If you're in that kind of a situation where you're trying to get rid of something worse and you're not even focusing on your diet at all, by God, eat chicken. Eat as much chicken as you want and need. It doesn't matter. There are certain circumstances where, you're just working on things one thing at a time, and everyone is in a different boat. And I have accomplished a whole lot, a certain degree, a fairly high degree of having gotten rid of a lot of things in my life. And the reason that I did that is because I had to. And I just listen to my mind and my body, and I look at my lifestyle, and I'm like, okay, what's the next thing that I need to take on? Because it doesn't end. It never ends. It's a continual journey. It's a never-ending journey. And because, after you've done this life for so long, you come to the conclusion that beyond this life, it continues with same things. You may have a rest period in heaven for a while, and that's cool. That's probably required. It's probably something that we like a vacation. We really need that, But it's likely that eventually we'll be thrown back into a mortality existence again, and we'll pick up where we left off the last time. Doesn't that make sense? I'm not saying that that's what it is for sure. There are people out there that have their good book, and they open that up, whatever that book may be, the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, blah, blah, blah. And they'll tell you that this is what was written 1,000 years ago or 5,000 years ago, and this is how it is. I don't believe that those people back then that were writing things knew for sure exactly how it is. I don't believe that anyone today that reads books, blah, 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 knows exactly how it is. No human that's ever lived knows for sure exactly what's beyond this world. And I don't care how many books they've read or how many visions they've seen. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. So what I do is I go with my own experience of this world and my own feelings, and I trust them immensely. I don't play all of those I believe this and that, and especially like with our current world and what we see on the news, etc. You guys I told you that I recently quit watching the news. The reason that I was watching the news was for like comedy entertainment. The problem was that it got to this point of where it was causing me more stress from watching it than the comedy value that I was getting out of it. It wasn't that I was watching it for real, to learn things or to accept anything that they were saying or to be prepared or anything like that. For the most part, it was for comedic value. Like I said, though, it got to a point of where it wasn't worth it because it was causing me too much stress. Thank you, Doof. Thanks, Doof. I hope that's not your real name. So anyways, yeah, if you guys could keep me busy, that would be so great. Then I could go and heat up the other room. See, that's one thing that I do for sure to save resources. This apartment, the only thing that's warm in it right now is this room. And I know that's not always possible, but you can shut off vents around your house if you're not using the heat, needing to heat a room. You can go in there and you can shut off a vent. For me, it's easy because each room is individually not monitored, but controlled by the thermostat. Each room has a thermostat and it's baseboard heating. And so the only baseboard that's working right now in this apartment is that one in this room. But if somebody were to create some orders, then I could go in the workroom and get started on some orders. And yeah, I would be like more than happy. All you have to do is go to brettsnaturalhealth.com, BRETTS, naturalhealth.com, click on Millet Hull pillows, and I reduced the price of these just for you today. Okay, these are normally $60. Today, they're $52. I had them at 55 and I'm like, can I reduce them any more for people? And I'm like, yeah, I could reduce them down to $52. That's an $8 savings. That's pretty good. I don't make that much on these pillows. These pillows cost me about $25, $26. So the rest of that I'm making, that's my labor. And that's what I make a living on, my labor. And it's not just that I'm making, a lot of people make that much for 8 hours straight, and they'll make $200, $300, whatever, in a day. I'm only going to make sell one or two of these pillows, and then I'll make $50. And some of you are like, well, yeah, then he gets to do with whatever he wants with the rest of his day. No, that's not really the case. I have to sit here and I have to make videos and teach you guys about health and healing. And so the advertising, if you were to add all the advertising time that I spend and all of the teaching time and all of that, I probably make $10 an hour. That's the truth. But at least I get to be self-employed, and I don't have to have a boss, and I like that, and I can't work for other people. I hate that. And then you see, all of the materials cost a lot, and the shipping, and the tools, and the supplies. When I'm making something like this, I have to buy sandpaper. I have to buy tools. These all require tung oil. And that also requires citrus extract to mix with the tung oil. There's all these expenses when you're self-employed that people don't realize that are not self-employed. They don't realize there's all of these other expenses involved. So say hi, Melissa. Melissa and I could do Melissa, if you'll tell me the name of your YouTube channel, I'll tell everybody what it is. Melissa has a YouTube channel. I can't remember exactly what she teaches. Something holistic. But Melissa is in Ireland, and she does have a bit of an Irish accent. And she has a cute little boy that has autism. Really, really cute little boy. And anybody that wants to talk to Melissa about something like that, I'm sure that she would be willing to tell you her experiences, which are not always easy, as you can imagine. But yeah, so I've just been trying to figure out how to get through this difficult time that we're in. And like I said, most of the time, the thing that's helping me a lot is to be in the now. So what does it mean to be in the now? To be in the now, like right now for me, means to focus on every single little thing that I'm saying. And I'm trying to pick up off of the last thing that I said. Every time I say something, I'm like, okay, I need to what's the word? Extrapolate, I think. I need to accentuate on the last thing that I said. And so I just kind of go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And sometimes I'll stutter and I won't be able to figure out what I need to say, but usually I can figure out what I need to say. And I think my sleep time much better. Okay. So anyways, right now I can see the computer screen and I can see you. And I see the gong and I see my little fortune papers over there. And I see my lamp over there. And I'm just experiencing this exact time in the now. And that means that I'm not thinking about the past. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm just being in the exact now. And this morning when I woke up, I was like, I need to get to bed earlier. I went to bed. I've been going to bed at midnight. And that's largely because I live on the East Coast. And so it's really good I really like to connect with people in the evening. And so if somebody is in the West, in California or Oregon or Washington or wherever, then, they're going to be online at around 9 o'clock their time, midnight my time. And so oftentimes I'm up late, but I really need to get to bed earlier for my own health and not worry so much about my social life on Facebook, etc. So I'm having a hard time sleeping in anymore in the morning. And I think that that's because I need to get to bed at 10 and get up more like 6 instead of go to bed at midnight and get up at 8. And we'll go through cycles like this because see, we're constantly working on a different aspect of our health. If you're working on more of a mental thing and you need that social time, then maybe that's what you need to do. But my body physically now is telling me that I need to get to bed earlier and blow off some of that social time late at night. So you have to prioritize. And I really need to also today, it's exactly noon right now, I really need to get out and walk. And I'm trying to drive my car as little as possible because I really need to get those motor mounts put in before I do much driving because it's really damaging my motor. And so that's cool. I need to walk to the store today. I don't really feel like riding my bike, I don't think, because it's cold outside. And I need to go get some peanut butter and I need to get some apples. I eat a lot of peanut butter and apples. And so I'm just thinking about exactly what I need to do right now. But this morning I was thinking about my day, what I needed to do today. And so, you're always going to need to think about the future sometimes, but people think a lot, way too much about their future. And not only that, they think about the same things. And I can tell you this because of my own experience. I know how I am, and all of you are exactly the same in a lot of regards. Not exactly the same, but largely the same. We'll think about the same thing over and over again. Totally a waste of time. Especially if it's something that's just keeping us from progressing. Ask yourself, whenever you're thinking about something that you've thought about a gazillion times before, and it was kind of the same with the news. Oh, I've seen things get blown up before. Do I really need to see things get blown up again? No, it's bad for my health. It's not getting me anywhere. In order to progress, we need to do things that are new and different. And most people realize that doing the same BS over and over and over again is not getting us anywhere. And so I'm thinking that I am going to go do some fun cycling videos soon. I'm not going to do anything today because it's a cloudy and gloomy day. I'm going to walk to the store and buy a few things, and I'm not going to make a video of that. Hi, Brent. How are you? Just to go off point, your title and thumbnail are really good because it makes the person seeing it wonder why it's a hard time for you, so they click. Well, that's what the theme of this video is. This is the hardest time of the year for me, largely because business is really slow, and I like to stay busy. I like to stay busy because it keeps my mind off from wandering into bad places, especially during a time like COVID. think of all of the things that you can start to worry about when there's a pandemic out, okay? What you don't want to do is think about all of the things, because by this time, like I was just saying, by this time, it's been like, what, 9 months. It's been 9 months that we've been into this pandemic now. We've done all of our conspiracy theories. We've worried about China invading. We've worried about the government completely shutting down and all of our livelihoods going out the window. We've bitched about masks. We've done all of this now, okay? So we've watched the news and listened to all of the deaths. Are we done now? Are we done with all of that? For God's sake, can we just be in the now and focus on the breath? So that's what I have to offer. And I'm hoping that some people will buy some of my products to use them and use them in their bedrooms and keep themselves busy like I'm doing. And I can get busy making more products and shipping them. And I'll have enough money to pay my rent. How will that be? And so, I'm not telling everyone out there that has $100 left in their bank account to go drain that and buy Brett's Natural Health products. I'm just saying that if there are some people out there that can afford to buy some, that would be great, because then you could work on yourself and I could get busy, because this is the hardest time of the year for me, because everyone just spent all their money on gifts for the most part. And they just spent their money on traveling and big, nasty, unhealthy dinners, all kinds of things that, whatever. But I have healthy products available for people to purchase. And they can do that at brettsnaturalhealth.com. I forgot to put the links in the description box, but I'll do that as soon as I'm done with this broadcast. And I also do holistic consultations. So if somebody has been doing something, think about this, for a long time. Think about somebody that's been doing gymnastics for 28 years. You would think that those people have a lot of experience, a whole lot of experience with somersaults and flips and the rings and all of those different things that in gymnastics that you do. But if somebody's been doing holistic healing for that long, they also have a massive load of experience. And you would think that that person, especially as analytical as he is with all of this Virgo energy, could look into a person's lifestyle, could look into a person's refrigerator, could look into a person's job, relationship, whatever, a whole lot of different things, mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional, and analyze the you-know-what out of them and figure out exactly what they needed to do next. I do that really, really good. People that have done the majority, probably at least 80%, if not 95% of the people that have done holistic consultations with me for an hour will tell you within a second that they benefited from it, that they learned some things. So you can get one of those at brettsnaturalhealth.com too. That is the one thing that I love to do more than anything. When somebody really wants help, when somebody really needs to learn what their next move is, I definitely love doing that more than making pillows, rollers, videos, even this. I like making these videos, but I don't like making these videos near as much as doing holistic consultations, because that's like my thing. That's like my challenge. That's like my biggest joy. Because after I get done talking with somebody, I'm like, that person is definitely going to improve their life. Zero doubt. Zero doubt. Even if it's just one significant thing that I figure out that they need, sometimes people are like, they already know, they already have a pretty good inkling as to what they need. But when I confirm it with them, and when we break it down and really, really start getting into the whys and hows and whats of why they need to do that thing, then it confirms it rock solid in their brains. And they're like, yeah, yep. And then they really do it. Because oftentimes people don't have the gumption. They don't have the deep desire. And that's what you need, because healing is not easy. That's the deal. Until you really want something, if it's a hard thing to do, sure. Like, it's not difficult for me to pick that up. That was easy. But for me to get on warm clothes and then go out and really exercise today when it's as gloomy as it is and cold, I have to have a little bit of desire. And the way you get that desire is that there's a lot of different ways. But one of them is to really understand mentally why and the benefits. The benefits, that's a really important thing. What are you going to get? What are you going to get out of all of this effort that you're going to make? Okay, so that's what I'm really good at doing. I'm really good at helping people to figure out what they need, why they need it, and what they're going to get from the effort they make to do it. Holistic consultations, $50 for a full hour. You will find that if you were to go out and get an astrological reading, or if you were to talk to some big wig like Tony Robbins, like imagine how much Tony Robbins charges to the rich, the filthy, filthy, freaking rich. And as mentioned, I don't want to work for them. Now, for holistic consultations, I would do it, because that's not a whole lot of time out of my day. And if somebody were to give me $1,000 for a holistic consultation because they had that kind of money, I'd be like, oh yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that in a second. But there are just certain lines that you have to draw when you want to stay within reason to the general public. You don't, in my opinion, you don't want to ever get to be so big and so popular and so famous that you're not able to still connect with the little guy. That's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So, thanks everybody for joining me. I hope that you are well. I hope that you're going to have a really great winter. You can do that indoors mostly. Still get outdoors to a degree, so that you can get some good oxygen in your body as much as you can. But most of the time we spend in the wintertime is indoors, and it's so important to do body work and stretching, massage and stretching, yoga. And taking care of yourself with really good hot soups, squash, oatmeal in the morning is good. Dried fruits are good. Apples are good. Cabbage, hugely important. Eat raw cabbage salads. Chop up a bunch of cabbage, put it in a big bowl, put some stuff like wine vinegar or apple cider vinegar, olives, what else? I know tomatoes aren't really in season, but maybe a few tomatoes, something like that. And then work it, massage it all really, really good. That helps. That's like pre-digesting. Whenever you massage food like kale with something acidic and maybe add some olive oil and some other vegetables, you massage it in a great big bowl really good, like the way I make sauerkraut. And then that breaks it down and helps you to digest it better. And it makes it taste better because you're like working all of those, and spices, work all those spices into the food with your hands. Be sure and have clean hands. And I'm going to make some of that today. I'm going to make a massaged cabbage dish. It's going to be really good. Yeah. Well, you're on the wrong channel, Amador, because I have not eaten chips in a long, long time. But I want to thank everyone for joining me.